Hey, Dave, good morning to you. We're going to start things off again with the weather. So hydro crews here in Toronto and across the province still working to restore power to thousands of customers after that damaging windstorm that happened yesterday and through overnight. So Toronto Hydro reporting multiple outages across the city affecting about 6,000 customers at the height of the storm. The majority in East York and parts of Scarborough, but most of the power is now back. There are some small isolated pockets that still need some repair. Across the GTHA, the storm kept police very busy. A lot of downed wires and trees. Hydro One reporting almost 250,000 homes and businesses were without power within southwestern Ontario, which is the hardest hit area. Crews also working to restore power to everyone there, so we'll be watching that as well. Some wind gusts in the province as high as 110 kilometers an hour, as Natasha explained. Now, we are following some hydro crews along this morning. This is some repairs near Bloor and Kipling at this hour. Difficult to see there with the camera. There we go. Fortunately, no injuries have been reported in the GTHA, but if you are still without power, you're asked to contact your local utility. Let's get the latest on COVID-19 now. Cases continue to soar. More regions are now joining Toronto in the red zone today. And as health officials try to ease the second wave, more restrictions could be on the way. So first, Halton, York, and Hamilton, they are now under the province's red zone alongside Toronto and Peel. Among the new rules for those areas, gatherings limited to 10 people indoors, 25 outdoors, patio dining is allowed, indoor dining restricted to 10 people, and movie theaters and performance facilities are closed. Meantime, Mayor John Tory held talks with local health officials over the weekend about potentially adding more restrictions across the city to help slow the spread. And talk of added restrictions in Toronto comes on the heels of another record-breaking weekend across the province. Another single-day high on Saturday with 1,581 new cases. Sunday's numbers were slightly lower at 1,248. But here's an important number. 29. That's how many new deaths were reported. It's the highest level we have seen since early June. Most of the cases continue to come from Toronto and Peel region. In total, 479 people are hospitalized, 118 in intensive care, 67 people on ventilators. So these numbers, they are climbing. Now, as we brace for the holiday season, some educators are advocating for an extension on Christmas break to stop the spread of the virus. The Council of Ontario Directors of Education has recommended schools extend the holiday break by at least a few days, up to a week, for the safety of students and staff. The idea is being considered in Quebec, where 20% of new cases in the last 2 weeks have come from schools. Here in Ontario, the Ford government says it is not considering the move at this point, with the Toronto District School Board also dismissing the idea. Well, a man has been sent to hospital with life-threatening injuries after being rescued off Cherry Beach yesterday during that wild windstorm. Now, this happened just after 3 p.m. near Cherry and Martin Goodman Trail. At least 5 kiteboarders were on Lake Ontario when police got the distress call. One pulled from the waters, given life-saving measures by officers before being rushed to hospital. Conditions on the lake at the time, treacherous. The region battered with the wind and rainstorm. Okay, 4 astronauts are on their way to the International Space Station this morning after being launched into orbit in NASA's first mission using a privately owned rocket. The SpaceX rocket, dubbed the Dragon, contained 3 American astronauts and 1 Japanese astronaut. It launched from the Kennedy Space Station last night. The journey expected to take 27 hours. This is the first NASA flight using a rocket built and owned by a separate company. The crew will remain there until the spring. Let's talk politics now. U.S. President Donald Trump backtracking on a tweet that appeared to acknowledge publicly for the first time the Democrat Joe Biden won the November 3rd election. So Trump spending yesterday on the golf course, but in a tweet posted he won because the election was rigged. Later, he also posted he wasn't conceding nothing and then tweeted in large caps, "I won the election." Now, his campaign has filed lawsuits seeking to overturn election results in several states So far, nothing has been successful, and law experts say they have little chance of changing the outcome. President-elect Joe Biden now has 290 electoral college votes to Trump's 232, with Georgia holding a recount. Again, that magic number was 270 needed for the winner.